Hello. Sound check. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. We'll get started in just 1 second. Just gonna grab my water or leave that. Okay, hello, welcome. Let's get started. I think this might break. Okay, so today we're actually going to be using a chair for part of the class. So grab a chair now, or you can grab a chair after our warm-up or while we do our warm-up. If you don't have one on hand, any old chair will do. I'm using one that's actually not great for this exactly, but pretty much anything will do. Okay, good. So let's start with our warm-up, and then we'll get into some stuff and featuring some exercises using the chair. Not to be confused though with chair yoga, very different yoga class. We'll just be using a chair. So feet hip width apart, looking to the right, come on the balls of the feet. And looking forward, looking to the left, forward, and right, forward, and left. Back to the center, now keeping the heels down, look up, look center, look down, center, up, center, down. Back to center, leaning the head to the right side, to the left side, to the right, chin up a bit, down a bit, over to the other side, chin up a bit, and down a bit, back to center, and half circles with the head side to side. And center. Take your thumbs in a light fist, roll the shoulders back. And then forward. And fingertips to the collarbone, roll the elbows forward. And then back. And release. Now shifting to one foot, lift the other. Shift and lift. Shift and lift. And back to the center. Big arm circles forward. and back. Then thumbs in a light fist, elbows out, circle in at the elbow joint. And out. Interlace the fingers, wrist rolls. Other way. Some waves. Reverse. And then rubbing the palms. Hands to the kidneys, take the hips around. And other way. Back to the center. Now shifting to your left foot, right leg comes across, opens out 3 times. And in. Other leg out 3 times. And in. And heels together, toes together. Rub the palms. Bend the knees, rub the knees. Keep the knees together, take them around. Other way. Standing up, ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. And then heels together. Feet angled out with the toes. And gently twisting. And back to center. Feet parallel, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, really grounding yourself and rock gently forward and back. Okay, and then from here, shaking it out. And with the jump, shake it all out. Part of the benefit of this exercise is the impact from jumping. Part of the reason that those rebounders are really good, those little mini trampolines. Okay, so as I was saying before, we're going to be using a chair today. So get a chair. It doesn't have to be anything special. Like I said, this one that I'm using today is not that great. It's not that sturdy. It doesn't have space in the back. So it's the very bare minimum you need, but that's all you need today. Any old chair. So please find that chair. And we're going to start with a chair push, sometimes called wall push when you do it at the wall. It's the same thing. We take the hands on the seat of the chair and then sit back. Stand back, I should say. And you can even start with the knees bent a little bit if that helps to tilt the spine, lengthen through the arms. Now you might find if you're flexible in the hamstrings, you won't be getting as much of a stretch here as you would in normal downward facing dog. But the different change in gravity allows you to work differently in the pose. If I'm trying to find the flat back position here, as you reach forward through the hands, sitting back. You could walk the dog here too. I like to bend the knees kind of deeply and then kind of walk the dog from there, really lifting the sits bones. Okay, now come forward into a plank, holding a plank position with the shoulders down from the ears, tailbone tucked, core engaged. can see how this slight change of angle, just about 45 degrees, can take so much work out of the pose, just make it more accessible to hold, to really be in the pose, to experience the pose, hold it much longer. It's easier to drop the shoulders, it's easier to tuck the tailbone, it's easier to reach back through the inner thighs. That's why I love working with the chair. But very different than chair yoga, as I said, as you can see. Okay, now from here, come back once again, chair down dog. Now I'm going to have to change my chair over because we need space behind us. So I should mention we need to be able to reach back quite a bit. So from this position, our move is going to be taking a leg back. Okay. So downward dog, sitting back. Bring the feet a little closer together. And please swing your right leg back and up. Your standing leg could be bent, but your back leg, your right leg, should be as straight as possible, but the hips stay flat. Really reach back through that heel. Toes should point down. Flex the right toes towards you. Now from here, we're going to swing the right leg forward until the foot is almost all the way under the chair. We're going to turn the back heel down and come into warrior two. So our knee, I'll show you from the side for this one, is touching the chair and the arms are wide in warrior two. And this actually makes the warrior two harder because we have to maintain contact with the chair there. But make sure your foot isn't back here. You have to have the foot under the chair just a little bit. So find that position, and we're going to get a nice long hold here in warrior two. Okay, good stuff. Now we're going to bring the forearm down and reach over to side angle pose. I should mention the chair, it doesn't necessarily need to be against a wall, but it is ideal. It really does work better. I've taught 80 people in a big gym with a chair, just isolated, and it does work as long as they don't slide too much. And then bringing the hand down, straighten your right leg. This is going to be triangle pose. So lengthen the spine, drop that right thigh bone down, that right hip, and then reach the left hand up. And because we have the chair here, we can modify our height a lot. So I like to start up nice and high, really engage the legs, and then start to tilt more and more. You might be able to use the lower rungs of the chair. If you're really flexible, you might not need the chair, but I recommend trying to use it in some way since we have it today. You can find putting your elbow down, hand down, lots of variations that you can do with the chair. Now, you don't always have to reach up in this pose either. You can just keep the left shoulder back. Get a sense of dropping the right inner femur head down. Okay, and then bringing the hands back to the seat of the chair. Bring your leg back, and we're into the chair down dog position. Now from here, come forward again into chair plank. Again, it's okay to not be against the wall as long as your chair isn't sliding in this position. Of course, you don't want that. Now, if you want to take this a little further, the only thing that changes is you tuck your tailbone and lower the hips a bit. Your head might go back a little bit more, but reach up through the crown of the head. We don't want to drop into the low back. We want to keep everything long and strong. And this is plank up dog on a chair. chair, plank, up dog. And then back to downward dog. We're going to bring the feet a little closer together. Now take your left leg back and up, keeping the hips flat. Back toes should point down, really reach through the arms. It's easy to kind of be in this position, but really reaching like you're in downward dog is harder. All right, let's take that leg forward. Turn the back heel down. And rising up, warrior two, once again. Use the chair to keep this all stable, but it's very light pressure against the chair. You're not dumping into the chair there because there's more weight in the heel because the toes are relaxed. This front leg, of course, you can adjust, but you should generally adjust the foot with less weight, which is your back foot. Okay, then from here, forearm comes down, you reach over and extended side angle pose. And in this pose, it's easy to get the reach through this side of the body, but also we need this side of the body long, both sides. Okay, bring the hands down, straighten your front leg, extend the spine, and then start to tilt, dropping that left femur, left hip, tilting to the left. Your right shoulder up. You might reach up, triangle pose. Modify to where you are, where you get the best stretch with the chair. You can really get up nice and high and work the pose deep, and then take it from there. Again, dropping the left femur head. Another 4 or 5 deep breaths here. Okay, and lowering the hands down. Find your way back once again into chair down dog. Now from here, come forward into chair plank. And because this is an easier position, you can possibly do some nice chaturanga push-ups. So from here, bending the elbows back. Now, I actually prefer to do it with the knees down, and then you get like really good form. And they're really quite easy, and it just gets you used to this motion of the chaturanga. And this is important strength we need to have for our good sun salutation. So, 2 more. Okay, and walking forward. Okay, so I'll show you how, I'll walk you through rather how to do a sun salutation with a chair, and then we'll get into some more uses with our flow as we've been doing. So standing in front of the chair, about a foot away, ground through the feet, as if you're going into sun salutations. And from here, inhale, sweep wide and up. Now exhale, fold. Grab the front of the chair seat, round forward. Maybe your forehead touches the chair seat, probably not. Inhale, flat back extension, reaching through the crown of the head. And you might touch the wall if you're against the wall. And then exhale, fold. Take the legs back to plank, lower to chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. You could come on the tops of your feet if you wanted to. I like to hold the up dog on the chair like this. It's much easier. You can hold good form, really work through the legs, but it's up to you if you want to skip right to down dog. We've already been doing the down dog quite a bit, so you're quite familiar with it by now. Then coming back, downward dog. And then the knees, maybe you can hop forward. Make sure you don't bang your head though. Nice and light landing, flat back, fold, and rise up. And now stay. All right, let's maybe get a little swig of water. I lost my water again. 1 second, be right back. There it is. Okay. How's the sound and everything so far? If there's any, I guess you let me know if there's any issues. We're going good. Okay. Next, it's kind of a, if what we were doing before was a sun salutation A, then this would be the sun salutation B, you could say. But it starts again in this wall push position. Now inhale, come forward into plank. Bring your feet a little closer together. And then from here, see if you can squeeze your knee in toward you without changing anything else. It's pretty much just that. Leg coming forward, tucked in nice. And even the heel squeezes in. Occasionally that makes you cramp if you squeeze it too tight, so be careful. Then from here, without setting that leg down, come back, bring the leg up, and we're into this the regular position we often use in sun salutation B, the wild dog. And then from here, swing that leg all the way forward, so the foot's a bit under the chair. Scoot your left heel back. You could turn it down if you want for balance, but this is going to be warrior one, or with the heel up, warrior lunge. Reaching up, we have that same thing in the front leg where we want to maintain contact, just like we did in warrior two before. All right, now float the hands down. Now turn your back heel down if it wasn't already. And then bring your right leg to be straight. Bring your right hip back. Extend to flat back position. And then tilt forward to whatever degree you can. Oh, sorry. No, hold flat back first. So continuously holding flat back. Long spine. You could tilt a little bit forward. Now we're taking that tilt a little more forward. Bring the forearm down or elbow down onto the chair, or you could bring your hand to the floor depending on where you are for revolved triangle. Using the chair, it's nice to be able to work in a different position. If you even, like you can work triangle even up here. My flexibility allows me to go much deeper, but I can still get a lot out of the pose from being up here. So find a nice position using the chair if you can. Now that right shoulder should be up. You might even reach up, but only if it's comfortable. Just a few more breaths to this side. Make sure your back heel is down. It's pretty easy to lift that up. You might have to bring it in a bit. And then unwind from there, bring the hands down and the leg back. And we're back in the chair down dog position. Now from here, come forward once again to plank. Squeeze your left knee in towards you, nice and tight. And then coming back, keeping that leg tucked in and up and over Wild dog. Turn that leg forward. You might scoot your back foot out. Nice low lunge position for lunging warrior, or turn your back heel down for warrior one. You might even just keep your hands down if you want. That helps you to drop your shoulders and stay upright. Okay, and lean forward, turn your back, heel down, and straightening, you might bring your back foot in a little bit and turn the toes in a little bit. Square the hips to the front and find flat back position. Keep that left hip back, right hip forward. You might be able to tilt a little forward, but don't focus on that as much as getting a good flat back, good square hips. Okay, and then bring your right hand down or forearm down. Left hand to your left hip or left hand reaching up. Revolved triangle. Okay, then unwinding, hands down, heel up, foot back, chair down dog once again. And from here, come forward once again into plank. Then without coming forward, keep your feet where you are, just pivoting on the balls of the feet, lower your knees. And then bring your elbows forward onto the seat of the chair. Now bring your palms together and then bring a space in between your palms like you're holding an egg, big egg, like a dinosaur egg in between your palms. And then from here, start to walk the knees back and extend the elbows forward. Keep that space between the palms, so it's just the fingertips touching. Keep the shoulder blades down on the back. Now to engage some tricky muscles, try to lighten your fingertips touching. See if you can bring your palms further apart. Pretty tricky stuff. All right. Inhale, come forward. And then coming up. Now standing in front of the chair, please take your right foot on the seat of the chair. My chair is pretty high, but I'm a pretty tall guy, so it's kind of appropriate. But whatever height of your chair, your foot's about the middle of the chair seat. Flex your toes up towards the knee, and then take the leg wide. At a 90-degree angle, bend at the knee. We hinge forward from here, and then hop the left leg back. Keep an external rotation in that right femur. Now this position, you can stay here. There's a way to take it a little deeper, but I don't recommend it necessarily if it's your first time, but you can lower that back knee. You don't have to go all the way to the floor, but it does take you into a little bit of a different stretch in the hips. This is a fairly unique hip opener. It's one of my favorites. It's really safe for the knee. It's a good prep for pigeon. It actually is a variation of pigeon pose itself. Just safer on the knee. It was designed to make it safer for the knee. And then from here, hop forward, back leg will come out. Of course, we'll do the other side. Left foot Toes flex towards the knee, onto the side of the foot. Keep that 90-degree angle bend at the knee joint. Hinge forward, hop that right leg back. Keep the hips square to the front. Possibly bending that back knee a little bit or a lot. Okay, carefully, easily, coming up and out from there. Okay, now we're going to take the chair and actually sit on it, but we want to sit at the very front of the seat of the chair. And very much like a goddess pose position. This is a pretty high up chair for me, but it doesn't really matter too much. So from here, start to isolate the hip crease and spine by just hinging forward without the legs, without the spine rounding or the legs going out and in. So just the spine and hips moving as one unit. And we take that all the way forward and even round forward, but keep the hips hinging forward as we're rounding forward. Goddess forward fold. Seated goddess forward fold. Okay, and then pressing up from there. Now from here, turn to the side. It doesn't really matter which side, whatever helps you to see the screen better, I think, would be best. But I'm turned to my left, and I want to sit forward, so I'm on the front corner of the chair, and with my opposite leg not on the chair. So only one leg is on the chair and only on the front corner. And from there, I swing this leg back into a lunge position. So now I'm in a supported lunge. And the beauty of this pose is that you can sit in a fairly deep lunge, especially if your chair is shorter than mine, without exerting a ton of energy. So you can hold the pose and get like a lot of time clocked in getting conscious of this pose just while you're sitting. So part of the beauty of it is it gives you experience in the pose because you can hold it much, much longer, but it also puts you in perfect alignment without causing any undue strain and stress. So great variation to work with sometimes. And you can still work on lots of stuff. You can work on reaching up and back. So you can work on your spine, your core, your arms and shoulders. You're reaching back through that back leg. So it's not like you're just sitting down. There's a lot still going on. So sometimes people see the use of the chair and they think it's just to make it easy or something like that, but it's actually to just engage in a different way and work more deeply and in a different way. All right, let's take it to the other side, spinning around, or whatever you got to do on your end to get to the other side. Sitting on the front corner. I should mention, and you probably did this the other side, and I didn't even mention it, but the tendency in this front foot is to have the heel up like that. So try to have the heel down. That's part of why we have to sit forward on the chair. If you're back here, you might not be able to get the heel down because the chair gets in the way. So sitting on the front corner, heel down, hips square, back heel reaching back, and then just hang out. You can even have some water, but feel free to work really hard. And also the beauty of it is the chair is there. It can take 100% of your weight, or it could take half of it. So you put half of your weight into it, or 10% of your weight into it. So you have most of the weight in your legs. It's just a way of almost working with different weights. So anyway, great way to work as well here. Again, and lean forward, bend that back leg to come out, up, shake the legs out a little bit. Let's put the chair off to the side for a moment. You do want it again later on. Let's go through a sun salutation to the floor. Inhale, sweep widen up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, jump back. Up dog or cobra. Now from here, lower all the way down to the floor. We're going to open our shoulders up before we go, for sure. Take your left arm out to the side. Peel up the right side of the body. Top leg could go back. We usually do this exercise fairly early in the practice, so you can find it feels a little different now. You might have to go a little deeper by dropping your shoulder blade down, shoulder back. And then come into flat. Slide your left hand in, right hand out, and then peel up the left side of the body. Drop that right shoulder blade. And then coming back to flat, pressing into the floor, coming into a light cobra or up dog. And then from there, press back through downward facing dog. And then from there, lower the knees down to all fours. Let's take a few cat-cow tilts. Again, notice how different it is to do cat-cow tilts at the end of a practice versus the beginning. Okay. Now from here, let's come to a seated position. Now this particular position, even using a chair isn't always accessible. I just wanted to show you guys this option, and you could possibly do this after class if you wanted to. But anyway, sitting in this position, so you are getting a stretch, you would take a chair in front, and I'll tilt it a little bit so you can see me, but you lean forward and just rest your forehead into the seat of the chair, because most people can't go all the way to the floor. Most people aren't anywhere close, myself included. So bringing the floor up to you is always a better option rather than trying to force your body into a position it's not ready for. Okay. Now from here, bring your feet together, knees wide in Baddha Konasana. Cobra seat. Now I'll show you guys a safer version of shoulder stand. I wouldn't recommend doing this all the time. I still recommend a really solid setup underneath the neck, but this will work in a pinch. And if you're practicing shoulder stand on the floor, this is way better than that for your neck. So anyway, you might want to watch first, but you lie back, sitting right up against where the legs of the front legs of the chair are. Grab the chair legs with your hands, bring your feet to the edge of the seat of the chair, and you lift your hips up. Don't have your head tilted though, as I turned my head as I came up, because you don't want your head tilted here. Hold in like this is usually comfortable. Don't strain your neck, as I said. If this isn't working for you, or you don't have a chair this whole time or something, you can just do regular bridge pose, which is a similar movement. But let's try and hold this variation of shoulder stand for a little longer if possible. Rolling your shoulders under one at a time can help you lift the chest a bit. Now, one thing that often happens is people let go of the chair, and the chair can slide out over time. You got to keep good grip on the chair, and it also keeps your alignment, because it's the proper distance is holding that front chair leg. The heels
eventually are on the front corner of the chair edge, but might have to start on the chair seat further forward. All right, let's come on down. That pose isn't necessarily available to everyone, I should say, too. It can be tricky to some bodies. Now, from here, we're coming to thread the needle. Let's take one leg across. You could use your chair, or you could just thread the needle as usual. Release that side, other side. Okay, and release there. I'm going to turn to the side from your chair. We're going to take a twist, recline twist. So shift your hips to the right, extend your left leg. Right foot's gently over the left knee. We take the leg over, reach the right arm out for a reclined twist. Back to center. You flash your hips over to the left, extend the right leg, left foot gently over the right knee. Grab the leg, take it over to a gentle twist. Coming back to center and hug your knees in. Okay, take the knees wide. And then happy baby if you can, catching hold of your ankles or feet, toes. Okay, now this particular chair version of Savasana is one of my personal favorites because it's so soothing to the low back and it's just really supportive to the whole body. So we have a little more time for it today, but with the chair, you have to be able to get your calves onto the seat of the chair, and you want it to be effortless. You don't want this sort of thing where there's a gap here or a gap under the heels. You want full contact on the seat of the chair so your legs aren't going anywhere. I even have, because it's a higher chair, my hips are even slightly traction state here, which is nice. Take the hands down, roll the shoulder blades down, tuck the chin, and relax deeply into stillness. Like I said, the chair's there just really help to get you into a deep, relaxed state. Let's take a few minutes in this position. You can take longer, of course, if you like.
Please take your time. You might stay in that position for a long time. That's kind of the point of the yoga practice, is to hold that pose for longer and longer with great stillness and bliss. You might set up for a meditation if you wanted to. I'm just going to set you up for it if you like to do a meditation. This is called the Maitreya posture. And it's where you sit towards the front of the chair, sit up nice and tall, relax your shoulders, and you meditate from here. It's really nice because when your legs are crossed, you tend to slouch because the hips are too tight to let you sit up tall. So this allows you to sit up tall. And then you can work just on spinal strength without having to work on the hips and legs and low back as well. So keep the shoulders down and back and reach up through the crown of the head. Anyway, that concludes our class for today. I really love working with a chair. I work with one very regularly. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I wish you guys had all the props and toys. I got boxes of cool yoga things that I use in my practice. It just opens up a whole ton of possibilities when you have all these other tools to work with. Yes, so anyway, thank you for coming. We'll see you next time, and thanks for your flexibility in changing the time today. Thanks, guys. Namaste. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you, happy holidays. Awesome. Glad you liked it. My pleasure.